Hello, my name is Dan Kurfis, and this is my final project presentation. I'm presently a systems engineer with Collins Aerospace, and I'm projecting to complete my master's program at Iowa State in the spring. So we're going to talk about the objectives of my project, current status, some challenges I've faced. I'll talk through a short demonstration of the project as it is today, and finally projected status for a week and a half from now when the project is turned in. So I wanted to build a first-person view drone flying over the ISU campus, limited to a small subset of campus buildings, but model them to be somewhat realistic. As I started to build Couver Hall, I realized it had a lot of architectural complexity to it to begin with, so I ended up only constructing Couver Hall, including multiple textures, different types, with normal mapping to add some realism. Drone controls, basic motion controls, up, down, left, right, rotate, hover, etc. Light controls, ambient, diffuse, or spectral intensity, location, and color can be controlled. And stretch goals, as time permits, a second camera position, say a standoff where somebody stands in one location and watches the drone fly, a drone-sourced spotlight, and finally collision detection and response. Where I think I am today. I've got many primitives already in the model, so I think that's where I'm at here. You will see an example of colored light on a surface, spotlight in particular. I am using normal mapping to add texture for brick and concrete. Navigation with keyboard and mouse, but currently no animation. Some of the challenges I faced along the way. One was I didn't realize how difficult this is going to be, especially given my limited experience with graphics programming. Tools, I used SketchUp to find some models. They actually have a very nice model of Couver Hall in SketchUp, but exporting it to an OBJ file didn't work. It exported it, but I couldn't read it into our software framework, and we just wouldn't read it. No time to troubleshoot the OBJ file, but I did gain some insights into the structure of Couver Hall that helped me in my own modeling. Translations, when I started to work with motion controls, I realized that I didn't really understand the matrices as well as I thought I had. So I've spent some time studying those, going back to old lectures to try to fill in some of the blanks. Okay, the demonstration itself, the trackball rotation that's been available throughout our homeworks, that's in here, and keyboard hotkeys. The M key takes you back to a main menu from anywhere, and there are three sub-menus underneath the main. There's a light menu, a view menu, and a build menu. We'll walk through each of those very quickly. The light menu lets you select either of two light sources, change the color, location, change the various values, the diffuse, ambient, specular intensities, coefficients, etc. The comma and period keys are used to increase or decrease values for whatever you have currently selected. Q toggles normal mapping on and off, and I and O go up and down through a series of blending options. The view menu is all about the view. If I get the standoff working, then the V key in here will toggle between a standoff and drone perspective. And then we have a series of keys for controlling the motion, up, down, back, forward, etc. And also a spotlight on and off and a hover function. The build menu allows you to construct Couver Hall in stages. You can toggle everything on or off. You can get a list of the object models, or you can toggle each of 15 objects on or off using 1 through 9 and A through F, so you can see different parts of the building as it gets constructed. So we're going to see that model construction of Couver Hall, some manual view control, spotlight with motion, and some manual color control. First, we'll construct our model, beginning with an aerial view of Couver Hall, add some ground texture, add walls at various heights. Then we'll start putting roofs on the different building sections. And finally, we'll use the trackball controls to take a look around to see what we built. Next, we'll use some of the keyboard controls to mimic the drone motion. This is the part that I need to automate, but you can see how the motion might look. Next, we'll look at a spotlight. I've turned the ambient light down to give a kind of a nighttime effect. And we have the spectral light moving around in different axes against different textures to see what they look like under the spotlight. And next, we're going to change the color of the spotlight. First, I'm gradually removing the blue component. Then we'll start removing the green component. And what will be left will be a solid red spotlight. And then we'll move that around a little bit to see how that looks against different textures. I intend to have this spotlight as a function that can be turned on or off in the direction the drone is pointing. Status, where I hope to be in 10 days. So this is where I believe I am right now. I do want to add that standoff camera, so I got standoff position, so I got a second camera. Triggering animations with keyboard controls. And finally, the stretch goal, animation with collision detection. So that's what I hope to get done. Things I have to do. You didn't see a drone model today. I have to build that and attach a camera to it. And then add some basic animation. So the manual motion controls you saw today will be automated. And what I hope to do, if time is available, is add that standoff view and add collision detection. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, questions or comments. Thank you.